Good morning, mathematicians. We're looking at lesson 6. This is about multi-step conversion problems, metric liquid volume. This is titled Dance Team, and here's the situation. A dance team used 60 bottles of water during their practices last week. Each bottle holds 750 milliliters. How many liters of water did the dance team drink during their practices? Well, the first thing I want us to notice, mathematicians, is the unit change. So we are going to be figuring first how many milliliters there are when we have 60 bottles and each bottle is 750 milliliters. But then notice when we give our answer, we're going to make sure that our answer is given in liters. So first, we need to figure out how many milliliters are in 60 bottles of water. Then we need to convert that to liters to report our answer. That is the idea here of multiple steps, which is what we saw in our lesson. We're going to be calculating and converting. So let's get started. The first thing that we want to think about is that there are 60 bottles and each bottle is 750 milliliters. So we do need to multiply this together. Now I can multiply my 6 and my 75 and then look at my zeros outside the basic fact. So let's come to the side and let's think, what is 75 times 6? I'm going to stack and solve this, but you could use your favorite strategy. I have 5 times 6 is 30. Here's my 0. There we go. And carry a 3. 6 times 7 is 42 plus 3 makes this 45. So I know that 6 times 75 is 450. Now I have a 0 outside the basic fact and another 0 outside the basic fact. So I'm going to make this 100 times bigger by adding those two zeros to the end. And 1, 2, 3, comma, I have an answer of 45,000. So what that tells me is, let's see, they drank, is that how many they used? Okay, so they used 445,000. There we go. Now I'm with you. They used 45,000 milliliters of water. But remember what we said. Our answer is not going to be reported in milliliters. Our answer is going to be reported in liters. So now what we need to do is we need to figure out what is 45,000 milliliters. What do I need to divide that by in order to get to an answer in liters? This is currently in milliliters. So how do I go from milliliter to liter? Well, what I need to remember, boys and girls, is that there is 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Because I know that relationship about milliliters and liters, I know that relationship between those two units, I know that I really need to divide by 1,000. When I divide by 1,000, I would be bringing that decimal point on back 3 times, and I would go 1, 2, 3. So I know that my answer is going to be a 45 because notice when I divide by 1,000, I really move my decimal point 3 times to the left. Let me show that movement over here once again, just in case you weren't with me. This is 45,000, which is how many milliliters there are. But to take it to liter, I divide by 1,000, which is moving the decimal 1 time, which is like dividing by 10, 2 times, which is like dividing by 100, and 1 more time, which is like dividing by 1,000. And my decimal point is going to be right here, which is what I have at that moment in my equation. Now notice it does not tell us that we need to explain or show our reasoning, but what we do need to do is go ahead and make sure that we give that 45 back in relation to the context of this problem. The question that we were asked was how many liters of water did the dance team drink during their practice? So now I'm going to envelop my 45 in a sentence that gives a little restate. So I'm going to say, the dance team, and you can just say team. There's no rhyme or reason to exactly using these words. It's just giving context. So we're going to say, the dance team used 45 liters of water during practice. Now, in this way, I have made sure that I am a mathematician, not just a calculator, but I've thought about my answer of 45 in relation to the prompt and the problem, and that way I'm giving a little bit more context to my answer and my work. Boys and girls, that finishes out this Lesson 6 Cooldown.